Welcome to the fifth and final Precon power-up with Nitpicking Nerds.
For the last one, we're going to upgrade the Sultai deck Enhanced Evolution with only $50.
So this will be Enhanced Evolution. I'm your host, Joe Cherries.
And I'm your host, Beezy, and that makes us the Nitpicking Nerds. If you like scientific theories and improving upon them, then you have to subscribe to this here YouTube channel.
And besides, you'll want to be subscribed to our channel because our subscribers are 10% more evolved.
Disclaimer guy here. Just want to say that the Nitpicking Nerds are not responsible because obviously things don't work on percentages like that. So
that's a really weird thing to say.
It is, and I don't think Disclaimer guy needs to even say anything because that's such a nonsense.
It's not even, it's like an oxymoron. We can just, without talking about evolution, we can go on to what is Precon power-ups.
Precon power-ups is we take the Precon, which costs $50. We throw another $50 into it to make it a bigger, better, stronger deck that you can play. It's focused, it does what you want, and you can win easier. It's a lot of things.
Easier? Huh? I'm in.
Yeah, exactly. And that total is $100. So for under $100, you can get this deck that we're going to be talking about
right now. The first thing we got to do when we're going over this deck, before we cut anything, before we add anything, who's the commander?
Commander, it's Otrimi, the Ever-Playful.
3 and a Sultai for a 6/6 legendary nightmare beast. It is trample. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, return target creature card with mutate from your graveyard to your hand. And you can cast it for its mutate cost, which is 1 black, green, blue. If you cast this spell for its mutate cost, put it over or under target non-human creature you own. They mutate into the creature on top plus all abilities from under it. Mutate is super complicated and there's a lot of things going on.
Yes, when there's any interaction that comes up, we'll talk about specifically how that works. But basically, whatever card is on top, that's the card it is, and it has the text box of everything below it and itself.
Yeah, we're gonna have to pile on 4 or 5 different, caveats to that of what happens when it does this, what happens when this happens, because we had all those questions and now we just know. So we'll get to that later. I don't think Otrimi has a playful vibe to it. What is it doing that's playful?
It's flipping upside down and looking at you.
Yeah, that part I get. It doesn't. It's just kind of like I'm gonna hit you. Oh, that wasn't playful.
He thinks he's being playful.
He thinks he's so funny, that Otrimi.
But he's hitting you with his tail super hard and knocking you out.
Dang. All right, well, what is this deck's game plan? We're going to mutate Otrimi and other monsters into evasive and hard-to-kill bodies, making an unstoppable threat.
Oh, love it.
If you get some creature with really good keywords that's cheap, but doesn't have any power, you put Otrimi on top, and now it's a 6/6 with all those great keywords.
Awesome. I mean, you get the big, strong monster, and then there's other mutate stuff in your graveyard. You get the mutate stuff back, you put it on, you make them even bigger, stronger buffer.
So I could maybe guess how we're going to win, but why don't you just tell me?
Build the ultimate monster and destroy your opponents.
That sounds like a really happy sentence.
Very playful almost.
Build the ultimate monster, you say? Well, I would love to do that. But first, I need cards to add, and I can't add any cards without taking out absolute poop. So what are the bottom of the barrel, doesn't fit in the deck, maybe good somewhere else, but not here cards?
Yeah, these cards just really, they don't make too much sense in this deck.
They might be good, but they just don't belong in this deck.
Yeah, like Zexra the Exemplary. 1 in the Sultai for a legendary Nightmare Hydra. 2/3 Death Touch. Tap it at 2 mana of any 1 color to your mana pool. Whenever you cast a spell with X in its mana cost, create a 0/0 green Hydra creature token. Then put X counters on it.
That's fine and all. That's fine and dandy. That's its own Hydra Sultai deck with that new enchantment that delves your X spells. That's fine. This is not what we're trying to do.
It's not at all. It's
not even close, baby.
I can see how it slightly overlaps because if you have counters when you mutate on, then you get a bigger, better guy.
Yeah, but we have better ways. We have better ways to that. Propaganda is the next one. It stops people from attacking you. This has no business in almost any deck. I hate propaganda. We just don't think it ever gets your card back, and it doesn't belong in a deck where you're trying to just beat somebody up.
Yeah, we're not pillow forting. There's no need for this.
Not with 1 card. Certainly not.
Dredge the Mire. 3 in the black. Each opponent gives you a creature of their choice from their graveyard. Doesn't fit the game plan. It's kind of a cool card. I like it, but
it'll go in some decks, but it won't go in this deck because it doesn't help us. We can't have these extra cards that just work with some other game plan that we're not going to be able to use. Silent Arbiter, what the heck are you doing in here? Get out of here, buddy. Tidal Barracuda says everyone can play spells as though they had flash, but people can't play spells on your turn. What are you doing in here, buddy? Go get into a flash tech or something. I don't know what to tell you.
Masked Admirers, what? It like draws a card and you can return it.
Yeah, I thought about like, does this work with mutate? No. Does it work with X-Spells? No. Does it work with the other guys? No. I don't know what it's doing in here. It's so random.
And we've already talked about it in our other videos, but the Impetus Cycle is worthless and it should get out of all these decks.
Play them in your Go decks and then play them nowhere else. Thank you. All right, now that we've made some room, what are some of the best things we could put in the slots?
Well, we're gonna fill in some, there's so many cool ones here. So we'll start with Parcel Beast, which mutates to, and then it becomes a creature that can growth spiral, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you gave me a look. Yeah,
I was like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I saw you look. Yeah. So he pay one, tap him. You get the top card. If it's a land, you put it onto the battlefield. Otherwise, you put it in your hand.
Yeah, I'm getting real sick of these growth spirals, but I'm still gonna play them.
I mean,
if they're good, right?
Yeah, we're gonna
got mutate. We want a critical mass of mutators for Otrimi to actually get back when he hits.
Yeah, this one's great. Dirge Bat.
Yeah, Dirge Bat is 2 black for a 3/3 flash flyer, and it mutates for 6. That's the one we want to do because when it mutates, when this creature mutates, which is important because you can stack on to make more mutates, destroy target creature or planeswalker and opponent controls.
Simple. It's a destruction.
I like the flash. I didn't even notice flash was on this for a while. I'm like, oh, this is the hero's downfall, but it does have flash.
So is the hero's downfall?
Well, yeah, but I just assumed like that was it. I assumed it was just overcosted, but it has flash.
Yeah, fair. Hero's downfall has.
Most of the hero's downfalls don't have flash.
A lot of them do. Hero's downfall specifically is an instant.
That's why we say what hero's downfall. That's why they're all based on hero's downfall because that was a good one. The next one is Season of Growth. It's just 1 and a green for an enchantment. Whenever a creature enters battlefield under your control, you scry 1. I said that real fast. And then whenever this is more importantly, because we're trying to get to the good stuff, whenever you cast a spell that targets a creature you control, you draw a card. So whenever you mutate, mainly, you draw a card.
That's the key here. You mutate onto something, you get a card, and you get your mutated stuff. You're getting lots and lots of value from mutating.
You don't lose your card when you miss out on the mutate, if they can fizzle it. You can't fizzle a mutate. If I have a 1/1 and I'm trying to mutate on it, they can respond because I'm targeting it. But let's say I have Season of Growth. Well, I draw my card, so now I can't get blown out that bad. They destroy my 1/1. This creature just comes out. It doesn't mutate, you don't get triggers, but it just comes out.
Yeah.
So Dirge Bat will just be a 3/3.
Mythos of Brakos, which does not roll off the tongue because it's such a weird name.
No, that's bad.
It's 4 mana for a sorcery, 2 green. If you paid a black and a blue with it, you first search your library for any card, put it into your graveyard, and then you can return 2 permanent cards from your graveyard to your hand.
I wish it was an instant, but we'll settle for draw 3. We throw a sweet mutate creature, get 2 other things, and then Otrimi hits, and we get the 3rd mutate thing back.
Yeah, that's awesome. Don't think about the mana cost because it's really intensive when you think about how
it's green, blue, black.
Yeah, that's real mana.
Green 2 and Tomb is not that great. Yeah. But it's still demonic tutor if you hit with Otrimi. You still just got a card back to your hand that you wouldn't have been there otherwise.
I mean, it's still demonic tutor for a permanent. It still is just that. You can always go get any permanent you want if you're paying the cost.
Well, the 4 of this card is just get back 2 permanents. So that's worth 4 mana.
Yeah, it is. You had to work for that in the last set. Or 2 sets ago.
We had to work to figure out what half these cards did.
They're tough. What about this next one?
Oh, this is like the bizarrest of them all. It's Infinite Reflection. It's 5 and a blue for an enchantment. You enchant creature you control. When it enters the battlefield, each other creature you control becomes a copy of enchanted creature. Whenever a creature enters under your control, it enters as a copy of the enchanted creature. Let's say you have this Elvish Visionary and Otrimi is mutated under it. All your creatures enter as that, and they all become that. So you can just go, well, I have 4 1/1s. Well, mutate this, Infinite Reflection, attack you for 24. Get 4 cards back.
Super silly.
Yeah, Infinite Reflection, did not expect that to be insane in this deck. And it even triggers Season of Growth. It does it all.
It does it all.
And confuses your opponents because they're going to be like, what? Which one is the... Oh, okay. You're like, gotcha.
So now it's time to improve existing cards. These are cards that were in the deck that just weren't doing it for us, so we're going to make them even better. They weren't against our game plan.
Like the other ones.
But they weren't quite good enough to stay in this deck.
Yeah, once we start getting higher and higher budget, the threshold for cards power needs to be higher. So we got $50, so
Yeah, we gotta work. We gotta work with what we have. Windin, the Biting Gale is the first one. This can bounce it. It's a flyer that can bounce itself for a black and a blue. We're not leaving up the black and the blue all the time.
That's what matters though. It's a flyer that bounces itself, and I'm like, wait a minute. Let's just play better versions of that.
Yes.
Same with the rest of these too.
Vorapede costs big mana for something with Undying, again, we can just do that with something cheaper, which we will go over.
Hero's Bane. It's a Hydra that enters with counters, and you can double the number of counters on it. That's great. But I don't care about counters, and I don't care about Hydras, and I don't care about activated abilities. So what is this doing?
Nothing.
5 mana 4/4? No thanks. And then Boneyard Mycodrax is a weird card. It's 2 and a black. It's a star, where the creatures in the graveyards is the stars, and then it has Scavenge, which is cool, but I just cut it because we're not trying to fill our yard. This is like a put it in the Cathrall deck that we built. Do that way. I don't know why it's in here, but we're not trying to fill our graveyard that bad.
So some better versions of the bounce creatures, Cavern Harpy, which when it enters, you have to bounce a blue or black creature back to your hand, but it also has pay 1 life to return it to your hand.
That could be an upside. Mutate is when you do it, not when it enters or attacks or whatever, like Otrimi is. So if we want more mutate triggers, we'll just bounce the cool stuff. The mutate card that takes a non-creature artifact. I'll just do it again.
Yeah, which is you might want to just do. Hibernation Sliver is a sliver that gives all slivers the ability to pay 2 life to bounce into your hand. We want to pay life, we don't want to pay mana because we're going to want to respond to board wipes, we're going to respond to spot removal. We don't always want to hold up mana.
Yeah, this is the only sliver. It doesn't matter. We're going to throw a sweet mutate creature on this sliver, and now it can bounce itself whenever. So mutate interaction number 2, if a mutated creature would bounce to your hand, both cards go to your hand. So Otrimi, let's say, we'll just always use Otrimi. Otrimi and Hibernation Sliver, whoop, go back to my hand, because they're the same creature.
Yeah, all cards, and if you stack even more, there's 5 cards there, all 5 go to your hand.
They're all the same unit, just kind of like meld creatures. They're going to go everywhere together, except number 3, Otrimi goes to your command zone, and the other things will die if they die. You keeping up? Because we're not. The next one is Darksteel Mirror. It's 3 mana for an 0/1. With Indestructible. There you go. That's the thing that matters.
Yes, so it's the cheapest little Indestructible thing. There's another one that will cost 3 mana in the deck, Predator Ooze.
Yeah, Predator Ooze, sweet wizards. That's a cool one.
That is, it's very sweet in this deck because Predator Ooze gets bigger too.
Yeah, this is like your thrift store Predator Ooze. It's just going to give, it's turn 4, I have a 6/6 haste Indestructible commander.
Seems strong.
I think that's good. I'm not sure. There's like so few ways to kill it already. And I just played a 3 mana 0/1. That's all I did.
Yep. And the next one is Thrun, the Last Troll. He has Hexproof. He's a 4/4. And he can regenerate.
Regenerate for 2 mana. So you're going to throw Otrimi on top so that it's a 6/6, just more power. You basically mutate. The only thing you want to do, you only care about if it's my commander, I'll put it on the bottom if I want to bounce it or make clones of it. I care about power toughness, commander goes on top. And then, because it's usually the bigger creature.
Yeah.
But Thrun, I want to point out real quick, it's going to show up on like the TCG player link that we have as like $6. Get the mystery booster one because it's like $1.50, $2.
Yeah, huge difference there. Yeah,
that's why it's in here. It's not like, oh, we spent $10 on this. Like it's just dirt cheap now.
Yeah, it went way down. Being printed a lot. Underrealm Lich, what's this one do?
Oh,
it's
like my favorite card ever.
I'm gonna let you read it every time.
It's 3 black green for a 4/3 Lich. He's not a Lich, but he is. Instead of drawing a card, you look at the top 3, pick one, and the other 2 go to your graveyard. That's great for finding mutate things to go to the graveyard. Well, not like we're not an all-in mill ourselves deck because there's like 15 mutators in this deck. But you can pay 4 life and tap him to make him indestructible. That's not even a tap ability. It's just pay 4 life. He's indestructible, tap him. So if Otrimi is him, now your Otrimi is just affecting how you draw, putting mutators in the bin for itself, and if it would ever die, just like Darksteel Mirror, pay 4 life.
Yeah, awesome. Young Wolf has Undying.
It's just a 1/1 with Undying.
That is all that it does, which is perfectly fine.
Oh, mutate interaction number 4. What happens when a creature with Undying that is mutated dies?
So all the creatures go to the graveyard and they all return separately.
So if you have Otrimi and Young Wolf and they both die, well, they die as 1 unit. You get Otrimi as a 7/7 and you get Young Wolf as a 2/2 with +1 counters.
Obviously.
Duh. You skipped over Silhana Ledgewalker, which is 1 and a green for a 1/1 hexproof elf. It can't be blocked except by creatures with flying. So it's basically a 1/1 flyer with hexproof. That's cool. I don't want my commander to be targeted because maybe my Darksteel Mirror can get exiled. But my hexproof creature can only die to board wipes now.
So apparently walking on ledges means you're basically flying, essentially.
That kind of makes sense.
Kinda.
When you say it like that. I don't know. The Nightveil Predator actually has for real flying and for real hexproof and death touch for fun. So not only will Otrimi or whoever else trample over always because it has death touch, can't target it, and it's flying.
Awesome. I mean, they cost blue.
You seem to think a lot of things in this deck are awesome.
It is awesome.
Would you? That's all we need.
I mean,
Subscribe.
It has death touch. It's flying. It's hard to block. Even if it is blocked, it tramples over. I mean, I would describe that as awesome.
And Scoot Mob is the last one. It's green for a 1/1. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have 5 or more lands, you put 4 +1/+1 counters on Scoot Mob. Mutate interaction number 6. If a creature says to put something on itself, like Scoot Mob, it just means this creature. So if you have Otrimi on Scoot Mob, you put 4 +1/+1 counters on your mutated monster, not just Scoot Mob specifically, because its name won't be Scoot Mob.
Scoot Mob.
Scoot Mob, and then, so we have 10/10, Commander? Take 10.
Classic Scoot Mob.
Otrimi, I'm glad they didn't put too many words on it, because it's already better than it looks. It looks a little, like, frumpy, like it doesn't do much, but it hits so hard when you just play these derpy 1/1s and 0/1s.
I mean, it's just a 6/6 with haste is pretty...
Yeah, it's a 6/6 with haste with upside, and it's got trample, and great.
Yeah, well, great. Some removal spells or removal type things that we just took out. Profane Command, Gaze of Granite. These guys don't really fit in this deck at all. They were more on the X side of the theme. And
Yeah, they definitely were. Mutate interaction number 7. If you have Scoot Mob and Otrimi is on top of Scoot Mob, and somebody Gaze of Granites for 1, no, your Scoot Mob doesn't die because the creature is Otrimi. It has all attributes, including mana cost.
Yes.
That also counts for like devotion or anything like that.
Yep.
Scoot Mob basically isn't there other than its little text box.
So what's the first one we got that we added, basically replacing these?
Yeah, so instead of removal, we're just gonna destroy a player. These cards are so mean, at least the first 2. Cephalid Constable is the first one. It's 1 blue for a 1/1. In parentheses, 6/6 with haste. When it deals combat damage to a player, you bounce that many permanents that player controls. So if it deals 6 damage with something like, I don't know, our commander, which we mentioned nonstop, you bounce 6 of their permanents and the game's over for them. I don't know what they're supposed to do.
You wipe a player out of the game. This next one also can wipe a player out of the game. It's Needle Spectre. It's a 1/1 with flying, but when it deals combat damage, they discard that many cards.
And Otrimi has trample. These just kill people. And I could totally see you playing this on turn 3 or turn 2 or whatever. And they're like, okay, well, that's kind of cool. And then you just kind of untap and you're like, Otrimi for the first time, and they don't necessarily know what's about to happen. They're like, I'll hit you. They're like, okay, take it. What happens? You die. You're dead. You lose all your board.
You've lost.
Your 4 lands are gone. You just got time walked 4 times. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry about it.
Or your hand's gone. Hope you can win with 4 lands. Savage. This next one is more cute than Savage or anything, but it's Broodbirth Viper, 4 and a blue for a 3/3 with Myriad, which means when it attacks a player, you copy it for each other opponent it could attack, and those copies are attacking that player. This is one of the cards that requires Otrimi to be on the bottom, because when you make copies, obviously they're legendary if they're Otrimi, so if you're going for the clone route, put it below. I mean, you just know based on what's in your hand. It's not like you have all these and you're like, what do I do? You're probably gonna have 2 of them. Yeah. And you can decide from there.
But also with the Broodbirth Viper, we have tons of other ways things to mutate. They can mutate on top, then be big, strong.
Yeah, just like a 5/5. Okay, well now you're taking 10. I'm gonna draw 2 or 3 cards. Maybe the original dies and the copies are gonna go away at combat, but you got your value.
The copy's probably not the one that's... I mean, I would assume that the original's the one that's not dying. Like, because you're probably attacking that into the Talon Simulacrum guy.
Yeah, you can attack the 3/3 into the person with no creatures or limited blocking capabilities.
Next, we wanted some more card draw in this deck because they had some weird card draw that really didn't seem to fit at all.
They have the monsters in this deck, but they do not have the card draw. We're not talking about too many mutate cards, actually, because there's so many already in the deck. And I encourage you to go look at them because we're trying to focus on how do we change it. So definitely give it a look-see to see like the 12 or so mutate guys. It's just all the ones from Ikoria, basically.
So we removed Illusionary, Ambusher, Mold Drifter. Not sure what these cards were, what the plan was. I
really don't know.
You play Mold Drifter for 5, I guess it's a flyer. You can add
keyword flying, but you got to do better than that.
Yeah, I agree. It doesn't really fit, doesn't really work. Don't get it. The first one we put in, Rich Cards Expertise. Our guy's going to be a big monster, so
good as you can really plan to get without going like, I'm gonna draw 20, and maybe we will.
I mean, it's not even that insane if we put it on a Scoop Mob and it goes around once, it comes back to 10.
If there's just a Scoop Mob sitting around, we draw like 10 cards, 9 cards, 10, 9.
Well, yeah, exactly. Scoop Mob.
And then you get to cast something 5 or less for free. That's just getting 11 mana worth out of your 6 mana spell. I would define it as some sort of
gravy.
Yeah, that's actually what I would say.
Because you're not playing it for that. You're playing it for the draw, and it's gravy that you get a free spell out of.
Well, it helps you not fall behind. It's like, oh, I filled up, but I get to use one of those right away. Discard less to hand size even.
Yeah.
The next one, Garrick Primal Hunter. He's 2 green, green, green. For 3 loyalty, Garrick. +1, make a 3/3 beast. Okay, that's something to mutate on, worst case scenario. -3, draw cards equal to the greatest power among creatures you control. That's where the juice is at. So you can choose to, if the board's clogged, you just cash them in right away, draw a bunch of cards off your Otrimi or what have you. And then his ultimate, you make a bunch of 6/6s. I'm not trying to do that.
I was gonna say you forgot his best ability that you never want to do.
Yeah, I forgot that his ultimate is his second ability, where you draw 6 cards.
It's completely worthless.
Yeah, how about this next janky one?
The first Rowan games. This is from the newest set, not the newest set, but the last set to come out.
Theros.
Because Ikari hasn't come out yet.
Theros was way slower, or easier to say.
Yeah, so it's from Theros. It's the first Rowan games. It's a saga. The first one, you get a 1/1 human. The second part of this saga, you put 3 +1/+1 counters on any creature you control, which that's already pretty good for our deck because if we can put it on our commander, we can beef them up. The third one, you draw 2 cards if you control a creature with power 4 or greater. And the last one, you get a gold.
I wish there wasn't a last one. It's just like Metamized Prophecy. Why is there a 4th one? I don't care. The card looks worse when you add the 4th one. The goal is gravy. Gravy for gravy's sake. It's my turn to do it, but I get the worst card. This is like that's how much gravy it is.
It's the littlest amount of gravy.
Yeah, it's like a spoonful of gravy, not a gravy boatful. And the last one, this is just the most like, hey, this deck really needed early game plays, like desperately, so I threw in Tartacourse. We're always going to be attacking. Our commander's going to have unblockable, hexproof, flying, trample, death touch, whatever, some obnoxious amount of keywords that make it so it's not going to die. So we get a just 2 mana draw 2.
Simple.
Totally fine. Totally upgradable if you have a $100 budget. I mean, I'm not saying this is the ultimate version of the deck. This is like, we have $50.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a passable card. It's card draw, it's filter if you need it to be filter instead of card draw.
Even if you like, if you want a mutate card in the graveyard, get it back with Otrimi, I guess.
Yeah, works well. So we got rid of all the Hydras in this deck because the Hydras didn't fit our game plan.
Just every Hydra. There was like 7. I thought it was not productive to list them all. There was way too many. We don't need any.
Yeah, we don't need any. So we put in some, these are like the 2, I think, coolest creatures.
These are the brutal ones.
Because Fastwood Hydra is already, like, those are cool. The Hydras are cool.
I get it, because like, a 6/6 with counters, when you mutate on Otrimi, it's a 12/12. I understand.
Yeah, but this is the cool upgrade. We took out the coolness of the Hydras and replaced them with these 2.
We put on our like jerk hat for this one.
The first one is Elusive Tormentor, which is 2 black for a 4/4 vampire wizard. But that's all it does, except for it has another ability. You pay 1, you discard a card, and you transform it. Now, this other side is what we want. This is awesome.
This is nonsense.
This is nonsense. It flips into Insidious Mist, which is an elemental with hexproof and indestructible. Now, that's what we're looking for. Wait, there's more. Insidious Mist can't block and can't be blocked. And then if it's not blocked, you can choose to flip it back. We're never flipping it back.
But if we did, mutate rule number 8. I think we're actually on number 8. If you transform a card that is, under or over a mutated creature, or that is part of a mutated creature, only that card with those characteristics will transform. So if we wanted to transform it back because we had a seizure or something, like I just did, well, we would just be a 4/4, and then Otrimi would be a 6/6 with pay 1, discard a card, transform it.
You just want Insidious Mist. This is ridiculous.
That's it. Never transform it. 6/6 hexproof, indestructible, can't be blocked.
The only real threat to this is exile board wipes, which aren't that common.
Right.
They do exist.
Like Toxic Deluge is a card. But if we're in the Precon $50 meta, it doesn't exist.
Yeah, and Cyclonic Rift. There's things that can get rid of this, but Cyclonic Rift puts it in our hand, and we're just like, well, we'll replay.
We're going to do it again.
Yeah.
A certain Goofy meme comes to mind, but it's not appropriate for YouTube.
I don't know which one you're talking about.
I'll tell the patrons in the Discord.
Okay.
Okay. The next one is not as brutal, but it's certainly cool. Teamer Sabertooth, 2 in green for a 4/3 cat. 1 in a green colon, you may return another creature you control to its owner's hand. If you do, Teamer Sabertooth gains Indestructible until end of turn. Teamer Sabertooth is actually a 6/6 with our commander's name or some other nonsense mutate monster thing name. So if we return another mutated creature, we get both of them back to either save them from a board wipe, also save Team or Sabretooth from a board wipe, or to cast them again.
Yeah, awesome. Love it.
You think it's awesome? That's a rare occurrence.
I also said I love it. This also has like, if you look at this card, it kind of reminds me of the set because there's a person with the Sabretooth.
And it's not a human. Mutate rule number 9. Can't mutate on humans. Don't forget that. We got bummed out so many times building this deck. Dream Stealer, Invisible Stalker, Den Protector, none of them.
Get them out of here.
Get them out. Eternal Witness, nope.
Sorry.
Okay, lastly, the thing you shouldn't forget about when you're upgrading anything, the land base. We already have a solid land base. But when you're upgrading stuff, it's important to get lands, not only in your collection in general, but to make sure you cast your spells better and that not all your lands are tapped.
So the first ones we cut, there was 11 forests in this deck.
Got 4 of them.
That's a lot of forests. We cut 4 of them. We cut the 3 gain lands, the ones that come in tapped and you gain a life when they enter it. No, thank you. We cut Mortuary Mire. It's a tapped swamp, and when it enters, you can put a creature from your graveyard on top of your library. No thanks.
Soaring Seacliff is even worse. It's tapped island. Not even the type island. It's just a tapped blue land. And when it enters, target creature gains flying. Excuse me? I'm not having my land enter tap for that.
Yeah.
And Temple of the False God is basically a trap, even in budget decks. I don't want it. It's going to gum up my hand. We're shaving lands from all of these decks anyway, because we play with less lands usually. I think this deck had 36 or 35. So Temple of the False God's even worse if we were to keep it in.
Yeah. So we added Tainted Wood, Taint Dial. These are the ones where if you control a swamp, they tap for both of the colors. They're simple. It's a weird cycle. We've been putting them in these decks because they're cheap and they are
with
great.
Black, you can just, this is like a 50 to $1 card, 50 cents to $1, and it's just an untapped duel. That even makes colorless if you care about that.
It also makes colorless if you're stuck without a swamp, which might happen sometimes.
Yeah, or you just have like a displacer in your deck for some reason.
Why not?
Random stuff. Yavimaya Coast, it's another one that's even better than the Tainted Cycle. It's green, blue, or colorless. Take a damage for green or blue. Obviously, this card's great. Any untapped duel, super.
Yep. Next, we put in the 3 scry lands. They come in tap. They scry when they enter. Simple.
They're all like $1. So if you're looking for budget lands, these are perfect. I don't want to gain 1 life, but I will, affect the actual game and put a card on top or bottom.
Wow, this next one is super cheap, and I was surprised by how cheap it was. It's River of Tears. The exact wording? I don't. Which one is which?
Yeah, so I think it's blue, but if a land entered, it's black.
Okay.
It adds black. It's gonna add blue or black. And I think it adds colorless. So even your opponents are gonna be like, okay, I get it. Just tap your stupid River of Tears. We don't have to do River of Tears math every turn. But it's like an untapped blue-black duel that just goes in like every blue-black deck, but it's like 50 cents. I don't even know why.
It's very cheap.
It kind of reminds me of Nimbus Maze from the last deck we did. It's like that blue-white untapped duel is like nothing.
Yeah, it's awesome. And Grand Coliseum is the last one. It enters tapped in City of Brass.
It's a tapped City of Brass. Okay.
That can also make colorless. So if it came in untapped, it would be better than City of Brass. But obviously the tapped is much worse. But I'm just saying, like, the actual card, once it's untapped, is better than City of Brass.
It's only $1.50, $2. So those are some really good lands. I'd recommend all of them if you're not playing competitive.
Yes, they're awesome. So our total budget, $50. What do we spend?
$49.39. Obviously, that will be different, especially because Tainted Isle and like Run, they don't really show up on TCG Player as the set we necessarily want. I don't really need to program it, or like if there even is a way to do that, I don't really need to do that and spend all the time because you get it. You can search for yourself by the played. I can't think of what I want to say. The grade of like play, the degree of damage that you want. If you want a low deck, this deck isn't $50 to add these cards. It's like $20.
Yeah. The original average CMC was 3.75. The new average CMC, lowered as usual by the Nitpicking Nerds, 3.74. That is a grand total of 0.01 lowered.
Every spell in your deck is going to be an average of 0.01 less. You're going to feel that every time, and you're going to thank us and become a patron by supporting us at patreon.com/user/nitpicking-nerds, along with our 52 other patrons who we love a lot.
Yeah, we love them all as much as we can without making them uncomfortable. They're all great. You're all great for watching these videos. This series has been a lot of work. We've been putting what is it? What's the grindstone?
Our heads? Nose to the grindstone?
Nose to the grindstone? I don't know. I don't know what the saying is.
I really don't.
It's not like coming to me. So we put the grindstone to the grindstone.
Yes, we put decks to the grindstone. I don't know. We made 6 videos in 6 days. The shark one was kind of like, we didn't even plan on, we were going to go, hey, when these come out, if we have time, we're going to jam them as fast as we can just to get the videos out there. And like, obviously we worked hard on these. I think each video we spent like 6 hours on minimum. And it's not like we have a whole studio here. It's just us two.
That was way. That was
I undershot it.
You way undershot.
Like 10 each.
Yeah.
Okay, well, like a whole day's worth. Basically, the entire day that you saw the video come out, the other video is being worked on for the next one.
Yeah.
So 6 videos in 6 days. It was super fun. I want to do this for a living, so that was a good practice again.
Mm-hmm.
And we just put out 5 Precon power-ups, and they're like the coolest videos we do.
Yeah. And if you want to help us eventually get to doing this for a living, you can also support us 2 other ways. One of them is to go to tcgplayer.com using the links in the description below. Those links will take you to the upgrades and they will take you to the full deck.
Yes, 2 separate links if you want to see the deck and just say, hey, what did it end up looking like? Where are those mutate cards you talked about? Well, that's where you go. If you want to see what cards do I need to buy for my Precon that I'm pre-ordering soon, go to just the ads.
Yes. And the last way you can support us is buymeacoffee.com. It's a digital chip jar. You go there, you throw us money, you throw it right at your computer screen in increments of $3, and we will get that money and we will thank you because we love you.
Just a cute little tip jar. Nothing more, nothing less.
Oh, we gotta shout out our new patron. We haven't done it yet.
Yes, we do.
And without any cut at all, because I am so smart and I remember everybody's name, we need to shout out Galvin, Flame, and Brandon, May. We remembered your names perfectly and certainly did not have to look them up ever. We love you both. You guys are awesome. We love all of our patrons. We love all of our supporters. We love all of our viewers, subscribers.
Talking to him right now in the Discord, and you could join him. That's all I'm saying. And the only way to end this video is how we end every other video, which is a tidbit about our lives.
What is a tidbit about
I did it last time. I'm out, man.
Goodness gracious. A tidbit about my life?
Or just, I don't know, we have the same life, basically.
Like, yeah, I suppose
we're not together. We're not life partners.
I don't know. Nothing exciting is going on. I haven't left the house very much.
Because you sleep every day.
It's not why. It's because I'm not supposed to leave the house.
Well, yeah, but you're not doing much because you sleep all the time.
Yeah, we're doing our part to flatten the curb.
We literally hung out with someone yesterday.
Shut up.
That wasn't to flatten the curve though. That was to show the curve who's boss. Like, I don't even care. Mostly we're flattening the curve, and you should too.
Yeah, we're flattening the curve. Beezy's being a jerk. Peace out, Chef's Coat.
I'm not a jerk.